Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is John and today I want to talk about a project that I just finished. Took a little while before it was totally completed to my liking. As you can see already on the webpage, it's TopCase E470 LEDs. The E470 is a Givi top case. That was delivered with the Kawasaki concourse back in the day. And it's this style. As I said, it's a Givi box, but it's Kawasaki branded. And the model was the E470. I already was thinking about it, to adding some lights in my top box. They have some sets that you can do, but that's just adding brake lights. And I want a little bit more than just brake lights. In the top box itself, here behind the Kawasaki logo, there's an empty space. And I used that empty space to put my Arduino inside. I closed it off a little bit and put the Arduino in. I still have to clean up the wiring a little bit. The wiring is, the LED strips are fed from the outside. So for each strip, the outside LED is LED 0. So this is 0 to 8 for 9 LEDs in total. This is 0 to 7. It is 0 to 5. And the same for the other side. It's also fed from the outside. A while ago I also came across this website, instructables.com, where the guy did more or less the same for a newer style, the V56 top box, also Givi. He showed the materials that he used. I did order these plugs, but I didn't use them. I decided to go another route. I did order a plug-and-play wiring kit from Admore. It was quite expensive, but at least I didn't have to cut in the original wiring. I just had to find the wires, disconnect them, put the wiring kit in between, and connect everything again. And it gave me some leads that I could use to feed my Arduino and get all the signals that I needed. He also used the WS2812B. Those are LED strips. You have them in several formats. IP rating differences. The one I used was IP67, I think. The pack is somewhere else. But that has insulation, so that is waterproof. I'm not sure what he used. The LEDs that I used and he also used was 60 LEDs per meter. Arduino Nano. He used a voltage regulator. I used a buck converter. And he used 3 optocouplers. A piece of experiment board. Some resistors. He also used the JST connectors. I didn't use that. I just connected my LEDs straight to the Arduino. And he had some capacitors. I also didn't use that because those are already included in my buck converter. And some wiring. He also delivered the schematics. So these are the optocouplers. for the right turn signal, left turn signal, brake light. So if the 12 volt comes in, it is going to ground. This LED will light up and it will put this resistor of transistor in an open mode, so the current will flow. And because the current will flow also through this resistor back to ground, so there will be a voltage going up. So the logic level is getting triggered. So the input will get high. Here is LED strips, 3 wires, 5 volt for the power supply, and the ground for the negative side of your power supply, and the data wires. And they advise to put a 500 ohm resistor in the data wire. That's what I did also. He left it away. And the Arduino Nano, just speaking for itself. So the schematic by itself is pretty simple. It's just 6 resistors. Well, I used a little more than, because I have 6 LED strips. So that was adding 6 more resistors, because the 500 ohm resistor in the data line. The programming, you can read on my website. I will share the link in the description. What he did in his programming was that he was using the color white, so he turned on all the 3 LEDs, because each LED consists of 3 LEDs for red, green, and blue. If those are all 3 lit, it will create white. But it doesn't make sense, because the red and green, the green and blue are being filtered out through the red lens. So there's no use to add those 2 colors. And it will also consume more power, because I made a little calculation. So in total I have 9, 8 and 6 on both sides. So in total 46 LEDs. And when it is using the white color, each LED will use 60 milliamps. So 46 times 60 milliamps gives a total of 2.76 amps. That's quite a lot. At first I was thinking about using the accessory lead to power it. But then on the Admore plug-and-play wiring kit that I received, there was also one plug that was connecting to the taillight. And they said in the description of the kit that it could be used to for 2 amp power draw. So you will see later that when I only use the red color, the LED is just using 20 milliamps. So the LEDs are just using 0.92 amps if they're fully lit, and I'm not even fully lit them. And then I looked up the power draw for Arduino. They said that was in worst case 40 milliamps. Now the buck converter is also using some power. So if I go over 1.25 amps, there will be a lot of current draw. So I'm well under the 2 amps that the plug-and-play wiring kit was told to be used for. And that's only while braking, so it's not even while using the turn signal. Now the story for the rest is pretty much the same. So it will do running lights. That will only show the outside LEDs. So I can show you that here. So only the outside ones. And that's in a dimmed version. That's only using the LEDs. You can set the brightness from 0 to 255. Or 254 actually. And I have set the brightness of the brightest level to 200 and the running light to 80. So I'm not using even full power when the LEDs are fully lit. Now here on the GitHub you can also find the code. Also I put a lot of comments in it. And the code only uses about 52% of the memory of the Arduino, so there's still some room for improvement or changes. Now I bought some waterproof connectors I told here, but also 5-pin trailer wiring harness. But I did use the wires of the wiring harness, but I didn't use the pins. Now here below, at first you have all the definitions. Partly also used for the setup, the startup sequence. And that is one-on-one copied from the other guy. I only adapted a little bit to adapt my 6 LED strips instead of the 3 for the 2 that he used. And what you can also see here is that in his setup, and he was also using that in his loop, he's using a lot of delays. So there, delay 200, delay 75, delay 100, delay 150, delay 400, delay 5. And the problem of using delays is that when the Arduino hits a delay, it will wait on that spot until the time has passed. So it will hit the delay 200 and it will wait for 200 milliseconds before it continues. So meanwhile, nothing else can be done. What I used in my loop, well, actually, my loop I call the functions, but you can see it here a little bit. I'm using the millis function, and millis, that is a 4 billion byte size, of 4 billion bit size number. So this this okay. It are milliseconds, but there are more than 4 billion milliseconds in a day that I will be driving. So, and when it reaches the end, it will start again. So it will only be one cycle that may. If you ride a long time, then it can only be one cycle that might be interfered by the millis resetting. But what it does is, in my example, it takes a timestamp, it stores that, and the program continues running the code line for line. And the next time it passes, it looks like if the predetermined time already passed, so it will take another timestamp, and then it will compare, hey, is this bigger than a predetermined number? if the predetermined time has passed, then the function will be triggered and it will do the action. And otherwise it will just pass by and waiting for the next cycle. So in that way, yeah, there are no wait steps whatsoever in the programming. The biggest issue I had was in the brake, in the brake blinking. The problem was that in my bike, the brake light already had a brake modulator, and the biggest issue was to get the Arduino synced with that modulator, because I'm only using the 12 volt coming from the brake pedal or brake handle, but I take the power before the modulator, so that was a little bit of an issue to get it synced. It looked in the beginning that sometimes it did sync and sometimes it didn't sync, but now I tried it a few times and it looks pretty much in sync. Let me show you how it looks like. I'll also show you the wiring a little bit, how it looks inside of in the top case. So that's the bike with the top case mounted. I took the side back off. That's there on the side. So the power is coming from the outside. It goes inside, and here is in the center is where the Arduino is hiding. So here on the outside is where the wiring is going into, because otherwise I would have had the space to drill a hole, get the wiring through to feed them from the inside to the outside. Okay, so that's the wiring, and then yeah, I'm following the top case of the top side of the top case, and then I go down, and here on the bottom I put a pass-through, and then wires under my seat with some Heatshrink and some how you call it in English, I lost the name of vulcanizing tape. Okay, let me show you not that one. Let me show you the blink pattern. I put the door of the camera in the door of the car, so the camera is a little bit low. So this is startup sequence. And this is the running lights. So only the first blink is a little strange. Left turn signal. Hazard lights. Also sequential. And the hazard lights is overruling the brakes, so you can see they're pretty much in sync now, the top case and the original brake light. When you use the turn signal, the other side will just light solid. Maybe I'll look at the reflection in the car door. The other side. So that was that. I can show you what his video. So he only used 2 strips and I use 6 strips. That's the only difference. When you look at the schematic, He's using pin 2 and 3 for his LED strips. I'm using pin 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 for the LED strips. And then 8, 9, 10 for the inputs. So that's the only difference between his schematic and my schematic. And then the voltage regulator and the buck converter I'm using. And the additional resistors in the data line. Did he have other pictures? Now he's also sharing his code. So you can also look how he did it. He put it all on a experiment board. I did the same, only looks like his looks a little tighter than mine on the bottom. I'm still thinking about making a PCB for it, but I'm not in a hurry. And the optocouplers, or the opto-isolators, how he calls them, is just to isolate the 12 volt from the 5 volt system. Because Arduino uses 5 volt signaling levels. So we have to convert the 12 volt signal from the bike to 5 volt for the Arduino. You could use a power divider with the two resistors, but then if something happens with the second resistor, then you still have the danger that you put 12 volt on the input of your Arduino. So in that way, the opto-isolator or the optocoupler is a better idea. He used the JST connectors for his LED strips. I just wired them straight up. In his situation, in his suitcase, in his topcase, it works a little different, because for his, only every third LED is visible. So the first one is visible, second and third are hidden, and then the fourth is visible again. And I didn't have that problem. He put the stuff in a waterproof box under his seat. Well, I put the Arduino, as I told, in the top case. I live in Texas, so hopefully it will be dry enough. And this also I used the bullet connectors, so I can always disconnect it under my seat when something happens with the set, to take the lights out, or even pull the fuses. So here's describing his code and the end result. Now let me show you how his blinking looks like. I did see that his hazards work differently compared with mine. So as you can see, the startup is exactly the same as mine. Also just the outside 3. For me, for the long one, it's 4 LEDs. Brake light just flashes twice. But yeah, I try to match it with the modulator signal. Turn signals are sequential. And the other side, when you brake, lights up fully. Same for the other side. Running lights, sequential turn signal, and full brake light. And back is hazard lights. So Okay, then he starts explaining. So I will share his link and my link in the description of the video. If you want to do it yourself, look at the code, see if you can use it, make changes if you want to do something different. I'm still thinking about maybe skipping the first blink of the turn signals to remove that weird behavior at the start. But it works for now, and it's just one blink that's acting a little weird. So for now I think it's good enough, but I will keep tinkering. Again, I might make a PCB for it, but for now it's working, and maybe I clean up the wiring a little bit more in the top case. So take advantage if you want to make it. You look at his code, look at my code, see what you can use. If you have questions or suggestions, let me know. I'll try to answer it. I'm pretty busy at work, but if I have time, I will help you out with the code if you have any questions. No, I already showed you the... Oh, my... This the case looks like. So I'm not sure how he fed them, if he fed them from the inside to the outside, but I don't think so, because I think he also fed them from the outside. So the LED is as far as I could put them to the inside. The LED strip that I used was the WS2812 I got from Micro Center. I got 3 meters, so I have plenty of left. And it was the IP, I think, 67 version. And it's 60 LEDs per meter. Now the Arduino I already had in the house, but I bought those. Micro Center also sells them, I think for $8-9. But I think I had still some Chinese lying around that I bought on AliExpress for $3, I think. The buck converter, for another project I bought a buck converter, and I still had, it was a pair of 5, I think. And I still had 4 left, so I used that one. I ordered a set of resistors from AliExpress. Okay, I had to wait a little bit for it, but I mean, there was no problem. So yeah, for the top case, they do sell, Admore is selling a brakelight kit, but that is only giving you brakelight in the top box. And I think it was, I'm not sure how many strips that is, because also there is a push out plug in the bottom of the case and in the bottom of the carrier. So you can remove the top box when you have a brakelight kit installed. But it's only providing 2 wires, and I needed more. So that's why I went with just drilling a hole, putting a plug in. In Dutch we call them wortel. I lost the English word for it. So you put a wire through and you tighten it up, and it closes off the hole. But I can disconnect it under the seat with the bolt connectors. Then I can take my case away from the motorcycle. But most of the times I always have it connected, so I don't care about that. And when I want to remove it, it's on the bottom, so I can put another plug inside to plug the hole when I take the wortel out. So, okay, well, I'll leave it by this. Take advantage if you want to do it yourself. I think the most expensive part that I bought was the plug-and-play kit that I bought from Admore. But that was that I didn't have to cut in my original wiring. Just to disconnect the turn signals and the brake light, and put the wiring harness inside, and it gives you additional leads that I could feed to my top box for the Arduino and the turn signals and the brake lights. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to answer them. And yeah, good luck if you want to do something similar. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.